Katie and this is Sam, and we're going to take you through a 15-minute return to running rebuild session today. So come and join us. We're going to start with our toes and our heels together. I'm going to step forward on my mat just so I've got space behind me to step back into. But static lunges are a really great way for us to be able to build back into the strength needed when we want to come back to running. So we're going to lengthen the fingertips forward just so we have a little bit of a counterbalance. Breastbone is above or maybe even slightly forward of the pubic bone, and we're going to take a nice big step back into a lunge. From here, when you run ordinarily, your knees will come forward of your heel, but I want you to think of trying to make as much of a vertical line in the front of that shin bone as possible. We're going to take 3 pulses into 1 stretch. We're going 3, we're going 2, we're going 1, find a stretch. We're going 3, we're going 2, we're going 1, we find a stretch. We're going 3, we're going 2, we're going 1, find a stretch. We're going 3, we're going 2, 1, find a stretch. 2 more. Bend, bend, bend. Press through the front heel to stand. Bend, bend. Hold the bend. From here, we're going to hinge ourselves forward. And you're going to take the weight into that front leg. Extend the back leg out behind you. And we're going to start with the arms nice and high on the diagonal. Scoop in, drive back. Scoop in, drive back. Think of really pressing into the heel and trying to slide your weight back a little further. With 4, 3, 2, if your balance allows, we're going to bring that knee into the chest. 8, 7, 6, 5. Hopefully your butt feels like it's on fire, just like mine does. Last 3, last 2, last 1 into lunge, holding 8, 7. Hold that stability, see if you can sink a little lower. 4, 3, a little deeper. 2, 1, stretch up. From here, give yourself a little wiggle and a shake. We're going to turn around to the other side and repeat. I can see that Sam is delighted about that fact. From here, make sure you're starting toes and heels together, expanse of the mat or space behind you. Nice big step back into your lunge. Staying square through shoulders, staying square through hips, breastbone above or slightly forward of that pubic bone. 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1, find a stretch. 3, 2, 1, and stretch. With 3, heel press through that front leg and scoop the pubic bone underneath. Keep the weight a little further forward than perhaps you think you need. 4, and stretch. Last 3, and stretch. Fire down through that front heel. And stretch. Last 1, hold it down. From here, we're going to take the weight forward into that leg, release the back foot. Arms come nice and high as we scoop the toe in and out. In and out. Try not to press through the ball of the foot and the toes. Try to take the weight into the heel. With 4, keep breathing. 3, lengthen on the diagonal. 2, if the challenge is there, knee comes into the chest. 8, keep breathing. 7, slide a little further back. Last 5, last 4, a little deeper through that bend. 3, last 2, last 1, replace the lunge, pulsing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, a little deeper, 2, 1, and stretch. Good. Give your legs a little wiggle and a shake. Challenging your balance from foot to foot is a really great way of making sure that your weight distribution is even as we start to load. So we're going to start heels under hips, toes tracking forward, tailbone heavy down. Ribs and hips stay nice and connected. Take the arms out to the side just so you've got a little bit more support through that lateral aspect. Inhale, transfer weight onto one leg. Exhale, bring the leg up. From here, you're going to try and send your leg behind you, back to center, step across, and try and make that step a little dynamic. Inhale, exhale, inhale, Exhale. I don't mind how you breathe, whether you breathe in or whether you breathe out, as long as you keep breathing. Once you've got the mechanics of the legs, you can start to give me some little runner's arms. Slide. And the bigger you can make that transference of the weight, the more stable you are. Good. Lift. Slide it back. Bring it forwards. Lift. Slide it back. Bring it forwards. Lift. Slide it back. Bring it forwards. Last one. Lift. Slide it back. Bring it forward. Hold. Drive the fingertips out in front of you and make sure that the weight is forward. Pulsing down on your standing leg for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, last one. Hold the bend, transfer the weight back the other way. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Straight away test your balance. Staying on soft knees, just testing exactly where you are in space. And this is really important to do when we start to fatigue, so we don't go into habitual locking into joints or maybe sending the heels apart, but we're staying nice and lifted. And from here, we're going to keep a mid-range pulse. So if you need to hold on to a chair, a wall, a bench, or whatever you have near, that's fine. Hands on hips to start with. We're just going to move down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Can you go a little deeper? 4. Heels nice and high. 3. Last 2. Last 1. From here, keep the same height. Replace the heels and lift them up. Replace the heels and lift them up. Replace the heels and lift them up. We've got 4. 4. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lift the heels, stretch into the legs, and lower with control. Good. Nice little wiggle and a shake. We're going to bring ourselves down into a 4-point kneeling position next. In fact, I'm going to come this side. Nice and tall. Full breath in. Soften the knees. Draw the chin into the chest. Scoop, tuck, roll, and lower down. So before we head forward, we're going to keep our weight in our feet and let our head hang nice and heavy. Inhale at the bottom, and as you exhale, we're going to just restack and see if straight away when we restack, we can take that heel lift and balance at the top. So we're heels down, chin to chest, scoop, tuck, roll down. Once you find yourself at the bottom, inhale, exhale, scoop, tuck, roll, lift. See if you can take your weight straight up, and it is designed to challenge your balance. 2 more. Scoop, tuck, roll, scoop, tuck, lift, heels lift. Last one, scoop, tuck, roll, scoop, tuck, lift, heels lift. Just testing exactly where that balance sits, knowing that wobbling is actually a good thing, testing our strength, testing our proprioception, and testing exactly where we've placed our weight in space versus where we think we are in space. Lower the heels. This time we're coming to that full 4-point kneeling position, so sliding ourselves down, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Keeping the back nice and long and using the front of the torso to support the back. Inhale and slide opposite leg and arm up and away. Bring them back in. Slide lift, up and away. Slide lift, bring it back in. Lengthen out as you lift, so think less of the height of the leg and the arm and more of the length away from the shoulder and the hip. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last one, we hold this one out. From here, we're going to bring elbow and knee together. Exhale in, inhale out. I don't mind if you add a bit of flexion here, as long as you can come back to that nice straight line. For 4, last 3, last 2, Last one, hold it out, lengthen, lift, tap, and come back in. Sliding opposite arm and opposite leg away, lifting, elbow, knee together. And I don't mind that little bit of extra flexion coming in. So you're not necessarily trying to keep your back straight on the in, curling and making space, picking up the abdominals. Last two. Last one. Hold, lengthen, square yourself off, lift, and come down. From here, from that 4-point kneeling position, widen the hands, and we're going to take our left foot through, ideally aiming for a vertical shin bone, but just finding that length into this position, so stretching across the front of the hip flexor. If it's not available for you to touch the floor, if you've got yoga blocks, feel free to pop them up, or pop your hand onto your thigh. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Can you find a bit more space across the front of that hip? Full breath in, full breath out. See if you can take both hands off, testing that balance. Full breath in, full breath out, full breath in. As you breathe out this time, tip towards your front leg and find that side stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Replace either hands to floor or hands to thigh, or if you're feeling extra ninja, hands off. Tuck the back toe, press out, find that lift, stretch, hold, maybe an extra lift through the arms. Replace the hands down, replace the knee down, both knees together, and take a little movement from side to side. From here, we're going to slide the opposite foot forward and find that stretch. Keep the back knee on the floor to start with. If this is enough, stay here. Feel free to bring yourself up. The further up you come, the more chance you have of finding a little space across the front of that hip flexor. If it feels available, you can lift both arms up. Breathing as you go. Inhale, exhale. And your next inhale, if it's available, start to tip towards the front leg, staying aligned, and just find a little bit more space across the front of the hips. Coming all the way back to center. Hands down is fine, hands on hip is fine, hands lifted. Tuck the toe, press out through the heel, find that lift. Press into the front heel, lengthen the arms, find a lift, find a stretch. When you're ready, replace down, knee down, back to your 4-point kneeling position, and finding just a little movement from side to side here. Good. From here, you can keep your hands on the floor. You can make a fist, or you can choose to come down to your elbows. We're going to tick our toes over. And to make sure that our running is nice and strong, we really want that emphasis to come from the core, so through the center of the trunk of the body. Inhale. As you exhale, float the knees off. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last two. And last one. Hold that lift. From here, if you can, press the weight back into your feet. Lift the hips up until you hit a downward dog. And just take a little pad through those heels, finding that length for the hamstrings. If you're already at the point where you are returning to running gently, or you are returning to running in full, this sequence also makes a really great warm-up or a nice little tag onto the end for a little activation before your cool down. Hang heavy through both heels. Weight into the legs as much as possible. Look between the legs. Soften the knees. And then walk your feet
towards your hands, hanging heavy. Full breath in, and your challenge as you scoop, tuck, roll, and lift up is to take that heel lift straight away and check that you've restacked your weight central through the whole line of the spine. Wonderful work. This is a great exercise to pop in more than once a week if you're looking to return to running, and you can start to increase your emphasis and how much you put into especially that transference of weight as you go. Good luck with it. We'd love to know how you get on, and we will catch you next time.